Hi guys, Simon Blair here. Today I'm going to give you a really quick technique, instructional insight today in terms of how to deal with conflict, difficult customers who are objecting, raising concerns, they're frustrated, they're angry, they're upset, or they've just got some mild sort of worry. There's a two-step method that can work in many situations. First of all, you need to recognize what is going on emotionally for a customer when they're complaining. What is their emotional need? They're actually wanting validation. They're wanting acknowledgement for the fact that you've caused the organization has had service failure and it's impacted them in a physical, if not emotional, and clearly an emotional way. So they're wanting acknowledgement. They're wanting empathy. They're wanting recognition that that's happened. So classic mistake is when, for staff that don't have the skill, is they jump into fix-it mode too quick. They jump into trying to resolve the issue on a technical level as opposed to dealing with the emotions at play. So here's what you need to do. As soon as someone's complaining or expressing in a negative emotion, concern, worry, etc., is you need to empathize with that. You need to show that strong empathy, which, and in doing so, acknowledge that the emotion exists and that it's real. And so the way to do that is to use the emotion itself in your language. And so if someone's visibly upset and they're face to face or over the phone they sound upset, you can go, look, it's clear to me that you're upset by what's happened. Listen to what I've done, both in terms of the words and the style that I'm using. The power of the pause is so important. Dropping the tone, the inflections, softening that off in itself shows a concern, a consideration, and empathy for how that customer is feeling and the impact. But it's strong, it's definitive. I can hear it in your voice that you're upset. If it's a milder emotion, look, I can tell that you're obviously concerned by what's happened. Pause at the end. Notice that pause. Let it sit there. Let it resonate. Let the words that you've said, let the customer hear it and absorb it themselves. Yeah, that's right. I am upset. I am concerned. Damn right. And they'll, we've all had those situations where the customer, they just need to vent. You need to let them get that out of their system, because while that strong emotion is there, it'll get in the way of you trying to find a solution. So you need to diffuse the emotion. That's the point of what you're trying to do through the empathy, is by acknowledging the emotion. It's like you're shining a spotlight on it and it dissipates. You take the emotion away. Then you're in a position to get into fixing the issue and working with the individual to find a solution. So number one, just to restate, empathy. Acknowledge the emotion with empathy. I can tell that you're upset. It's clear to me that you're concerned. Look, you're obviously frustrated by what's happened. You can hear the language of the emotion itself in those definitive statements. Then the customer will respond and often vent, etc. You need to follow your statement and their response with a very strong, this is step number 2, strong ownership statement, a strong statement of intent. So what are you going to do to fix it, to resolve it, to move it forward? Tell them that you're in control and you're going to do that for them. Show that strength. That's what they're looking for, because it hasn't happened previously. That's why there's been service failure. So you need to step up to the plate. So look, and if it's face to face, I naturally, even when I say the statement, I put out my hand, which is normally a position of power and authority, but that's what you want to show here, strength and ownership. Look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get your details and I'm going to investigate and see what's happened. And then I'm going to give you a call. So, and I'm going to do that within the next 24 hours and let you know what's happened, but more importantly, try and get this resolved for you. How does that sound? Pause, stop, check. Strong, definitive. Yeah, so whatever that is, that statement of intent, obviously it'll be tailored to the actual scenario, the actual issue. If it's in a restaurant situation and the food and the service has been terrible, well, you can't recover that, but what you might be able to do is provide a discount if on their bill, if not give them the meal free or give them vouchers for another stay. Acknowledge that you're going to actually take that information and do something with it in terms of improving the training, the coaching, the process that your staff and follow to try to minimize that happening again. So strong statement of intent. This is what you're going to do. Yep. So empathy, acknowledge the emotion, followed by strong ownership statement. You work those two together and you're going to diffuse most situations. And I can tell you from experience that if you do one of them without the other, yeah, that's okay, but it's not nearly as strong as actually the two of them working together. We often hear lack of empathy, lack of acknowledgement of the emotion, and jumping straight into, yeah, sure. What I'm going to do is actually have a chat to the staff member, see what happened. That's okay, but it's better if it's, look, it's clear to me that, look, I apologise. We've failed. It's not good enough, and I can tell that you're obviously frustrated by that poor experience. So, look, what I'm going to do is have a chat to the staff member, find out some more details about what happened, and then we're going to put in place some processes to try to minimise that happening again. And I'm going to get back to you and let you know the outcome of that. Bang, there's ownership. So hopefully that's given you some insight and techniques. I'd love to hear your questions about some of the challenges that you face, because often it's scenario dependent, but empathy and ownership, working together, that's the key. Talk to you soon.